coming back to you. I keep coming back to you.
Hello, Internet World! Welcome to another episode of TV Nerdz. This is your host, Esther Child, here with Gabe Stomach. It's been a long week, man, but we still here.
I've been just chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling. How was you?
Busy. Let's just say that, busy.
It has been an unusual week, I will say that.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know if it's because of like the whole Mercury being in retrograde, but it's just been a wild,
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Like a lot of weird shit's been happening. If you follow astrology and all that shit, they saying that, Mercury's in retrograde. A lot of wild shit's been happening to other people, so it's like,
What that mean?
why my birthday month though?
What that mean, retrograde?
Basically, I mean, I'm not too deep into it, but I do know like it has to do with the planet alignments, and just because of the planet alignments, a lot of unusual shit happens because of it. If you're into spirituality and stuff, it's just Mercury being in retrograde is like a really, I wouldn't say it's a big deal, but it's for some people it's a cause for concern because it's like, something fucked up.
And does it mess with Virgos and others, or does it mess with all the signs?
It messes with everybody.
Messes with everybody?
Yeah. From what it messes with everybody.
I thought it was just because of the time it happens. Is it the same time every year?
I don't think it's the same time every year. It's different. It's all about like just planets, rotation, all that shit. So it happens different times of the year, but it's just when it hits, like for people who are into astrology, when it hits, they feel it. So
I believe it, no, because I was just questioning. The day I had today was an eventful one in the morning. So, like, that's why I was questioning.
This whole week in general has just been...
It just makes me wonder. Have you found what retrograde is?
So it says Mercury retrograde is an optical illusion, which means it moves as if the planet is moving backwards from our view here on Earth. Astrologers believe that during this perceived backwards motion, technology communication could get disrupted, putting dampers on everyone's summer mood.
Yeah, it's been a very moody week, so yeah.
I believe all that.
Makes sense?
That makes 100%. Yo,
Makes sense.
because the issue I had was on social media, was on communications.
Makes sense.
like I'm just, wow. So it's not even. It's just perceived that it's going backwards. It's not going backwards.
It's just the way it's
just
rotating. Just the
ways-
planet rotation. It's just making it look like it's going backwards.
Why? See, this is why I have Nerdz talk. I'm gonna bring this up. This shit don't make no sense, bro. Like scientists say shit like this to us. Like, yeah, it's like that way you just read a definition. Like, that's fact. It's like, what? Why though? Like, what?
I mean, the same reason like with the full moon, and they say like it could affect us because we're made of mostly water. So,
But that has to do with gravity. We can show math. We can show math to that, and we can prove because like, moon's hella close. And I get that gravity's also affecting this communication. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How far? Look, there's no satellite by Mars for us to be like, yo, my GPS fucked up because Mars is in the way. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it makes me just wonder, like, why are, like, this is the science questions, because like that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense.
we need to talk. We need to have like a spirit, like a more spiritually connected person on the pod, just to talk about this type of stuff, because
Yeah.
that would be an interesting conversation to have.
In a medium.
And a medium, yeah.
In a medium.
You want to do the tarot? I've done the tarot card.
I haven't done it before. Like,
I thought it was
I'm not
16.
saying
I want to.
I'm not saying I'm scared to, but it's just like, it's like there's some things I'd rather lead to mystery.
That is there's still no fate in that. It's just
Like
wait.
I have faith in everything, but it's just like
No,
I'd
fate.
rather, huh?
Fate, like FATE.
Oh,
Like there's no, like, it's not a.
it's not like it's set in stone. And
right.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but what if
Even
they do it and then that shit really happens? And
I'm
then,
squaring up with you. I'm
not
seeing you
even that,
outside.
but it's just like, what if it happens because you're like, I don't want to be like, oh, just having that thing be on my mind to the point, oh, I want to. If it's something bad, I don't want to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna try and avoid it because like,
where you actually make it
and then
happen.
you end up making that shit happen. It's just like,
But like they put it out in the universe first, so you would have. You know what I'm saying? So like, because you didn't think you was going to them to get insight, so
Mhm.
they put it out in the universe. The negative, whatever, if it was negative, they put in the negativity on your universe. When you was like, bro, I was trying to get some positive shit. So
I mean, hey, you gotta take in this life. You gotta take the positive with the negative. You know.
that is true. That is maybe. Maybe that was a message in the tarot cards. That'd be that. I want to do it. I've done it like once or twice, but like,
Tell me about it.
so the first time I did it, this girl was doing it for me, but it was like the test or the card reading she was doing was more of like a personality wise. Like it was like 16 cards, so it was like one.
So
up
it
here.
wasn't. It wasn't like.
It wasn't like the traditional
Yeah.
like.
It was
8 or
just.
whatever.
It was just more of like.
It gave a more broader. It wasn't fine tuned.
It was like giving like your life number or something like that.
Kinda, yeah.
I had someone do that for me one time.
Yeah.
Like,
It was.
and, like,
It was.
and like tell me my big three and all that stuff. So yeah.
It was very like her reading was very broad in that sense because she wasn't well in depth, but she did know enough. She said, I was like, okay, run. I didn't like we were just in the house kicking it, you
Yeah.
know. But like when she did it, she was like, made it seem like I was going to be successful, but I have hardships coming. But I was like, so it was like, but like,
that's any successful person.
right, and so that's why she said the reading was going to be vague, so don't take it.
Don't take it to heart.
Yeah.
Basically.
So that was my and that was both times I did the reading. It was like that. So I've never actually had ones that were like more in depth, or whatever. At the same time, though, I watched Dateline News on psychics, and that kind of fucked me up. Dateline ruins you.
Dateline is ridiculous, bro. Like
They'll tell you the truth, and you don't want to know it. And I was like, when they did it on psychics, this is when I was, I was kind of going. Dateline dude dressed up as a bum went in, got a reading. He's gonna hit fortune. They went back into the makeup truck, fixed him up, make him look clean, business suit, everything. Went in, same psychic. Hit him with like, yo, you're gonna lose all your fortune and everything, you're gonna be broke. And he was like, bro, I was still the same guy you saw like 10 minutes ago.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, some of them be capping, but
That's what,
yeah.
and so I was like,
That's why I be particular about
Dateline.
that shit, because it's like I don't want to just find someone who's just gonna like tell me just some just some common broad thing or something like that, or just tell me what I want to hear.
Like, I guess I don't want to pay for the reading, if that makes sense. Because like I feel like
Like if you're gonna do something like that, do it out the kindness of your heart.
yeah, or do it for the fact that
Like I
there's
get
something
nowadays you can make money off of it, but it's like
but also,
a lot of times when you do stuff for money, it's like you'll do anything.
right, and but then also on the consumer side, I'd believe it more. Not saying that it's free, but the nature of what you're providing
The fact that you're like going out of your way, giving your time to
for
do
this for free
Mhm.
makes me believe the reading more than me having to pay for the reading. If that makes, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like now like not saying your
'Cause
words
for most,
don't have
'cause
value.
For most
but-
people, it's just gonna be like, hey, you're gonna get what you pay for.
right? And I'm just be like, I paid $30, so I'll give you a $30 reading. Like, oh wait, hold on.
So this whole thing comes with charges. Like
Yeah, right. So if I pay
it's,
more,
it's
I
like
get
having
a better
it's,
reading.
It's like having a premium reading or something like that. Like here's a tiers of reading.
You got
of the readings.
you got a subscription pass or something. You got a Game Pass. Maybe I can get like it makes me wonder that. So that's why I was like, I don't. That's why when she did it, I believed it more. But then like I question now going to go buy like one, like go pay for it done. I feel it'd be lame too. They won't like because I
Maybe
feel
so-
like those person know you, like the people who like do it for free kind of know you for, you know what I mean. They know you personally to a degree, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie now, but let's get into one of our main topics. That Tekken series on Netflix. Netflix has been pissing a lot of people off recently because now they're talking about they're gonna go away from the whole binge like format that they do, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be basically just like a lot of other streaming services. They're gonna do like that weekly thing. which I think like we came to Netflix because we can watch whole
Fucks you
series.
up.
Yeah.
It
Like-
fucks you up.
I think the whole thing with binge like I kind of get it why, but because you got these other streaming platforms who do like the, weekly drops and everything, and you see their numbers just or whatever. But we originally came to Netflix because we could watch a whole series and just knock it out. But I think the whole thing with Netflix is the fact that they have to them having to pump out so many projects compared to other platforms. There's like they have one good solid show and they keep people's attention for like 8 weeks, 10 weeks, depending on
maybe
depending on
show,
depending on the show, but also just the audience. Like you could keep their attention for 10 weeks, 8 weeks, but for Netflix, you drop whether the show is good or not, you drop the show, you probably keep their attention for like what, a day, 2 days, and then next thing you know, it's nothing. You got to keep pumping out stuff. I think it's just they're starting to get more into like, okay, let's just have some solid some solid shows, solid movies or something, and not. It's more they're trying to get into the whole quality instead of quantity, but a lot of people have been saying like, yo, like this is basically just going back to cable.
Right. Yeah. But how great was it?
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was great.
It wasn't.
No, it was great. You guys, no, because think about it. Like, yeah, you're missing the point of like what binge watching took away from us was like our socializing went out the window. Like we have to like if you went now to be like, oh, you seen that like Squid Games? Nah, and you'd be like, all right. Like you like people used to have times.
Because with some people, it's like, oh, I seen the whole series. I binge watched it already.
Right.
Well, I only got to this part, or
just,
I didn't watch it at all.
Or just it's not their cup of tea, or they just haven't gotten around to it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people just put on shit to watch, and they get busy. They have shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like having like TV shows again that you have to wait for gives you like, okay, this day I have to wait for something to look forward to, and then you get group watches. You get like you have something to talk about later in the week, like. And then on top of that, it gives more hype for the show, and you get more time for the show. Like binge watch, like if you were to binge watch and like as you say, the problem is that they're not pumping out enough. They're pumping out too much shit, and the quality is shit now, which is 100% true across the board. Because like Paramount doesn't have good shows either. The Hulu Plus,
Paramount. I mean,
the shows that they have good. The shows
some Paramount shows are good, but they do the whole weekly drops too.
But I'm saying, like, the shows they have that are
like,
good are, like, the shows that been out on TV. Like, they're the shows that they put on specifically on for Paramount Plus don't hit like that. Like, if you, like...
I mean, what is it? Like, you talking about the throwbacks or...
No, I'm saying, people go to Paramount Plus for the throwbacks. You go to HBO Max for the throwbacks or for the movies. Like, right now, Paramount Plus got, like, all the old school James Bond... Not all the old school James Bond, but the James Bonds. They got, like... The Men in Blacks, they got like a bunch of other stuff, like fire shit, like shit that I would, the Fridays, all of them are on there. So I was like, okay.
Actually, HBO Max got Friday.
But I'm saying that it's on Paramount. You know what I mean? So it's like if I have them all on all their platforms, not really alluring. So it's like your main shows are the ones that you personally drop, and if they're not hitting, that shit whack. Because like as for Paramount Plus, the only reason I got it was for Star Trek. I
got Paramount Plus for all the throwback Nickelodeon shows.
I could care less. I honestly, I mean, they don't even have the good ones that I want on there. They don't have the good ones.
They got All Real Monsters. They got, they got all the SpongeBob, but SpongeBob started declining after the first movie. You know, they got Jimmy Neutron. They got Danny Phantom. They got Fairy Odd Parents. The whole Fairy Odd Parents, not just half the series like Netflix got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they got a lot of good throwbacks on there.
Right. That's they got the ones we've already seen. I'm good with, but like, good throwbacks like before the good Nickelodeon show, like good Nickelodeon, but like Clarissa
before the 2000s. They got Clarissa on there.
I didn't see Clarissa on there.
No, they got it on there. On Paramount Plus, they got Clarissa on there.
I didn't see Clarissa, but shows like I mean. But like,
I think they got some of the seasons of All That on there too. They don't got all of it, but they got.
But that's the part I'm talking about. Like we all like you get these programs for like you get these platforms for like your throwbacks, and then what makes Hulu lit is because they have weekly drops.
and they got original shows. Like,
Yeah.
I think what makes or breaks a streaming service is the fact that their original shows hit too. That's
But-
starting to happen now.
Even still, like your originals, because like Disney Plus original shows don't be hitting. Amazon now original shows don't be hitting. Like
I mean, Amazon has The Boys. You got to give the boys. You got to give up for The Boys. The Boys is a pretty good show.
yeah, okay. That's one show. I give you
think
Jack Reacher.
And I think for well, and they also just dropped the Lord of the Rings show too.
Garbage.
I'm not really a fan of the Lord of the Rings, but the fact that they got the rights to Lord of the Rings and they're making a show out of it now is just
the controversy in that show alone, garbage. And then when I
Come
watched
on,
it,
bro. I think a lot
garbage.
of times, like people right now, they're just doing too much.
Who?
As far as like the consumers, like because you're really mad that a Hobbit's black?
Yeah,
Like seriously?
yeah. It makes no sense.
It's a fantasy story.
Right. So
what's
so
wrong-
you don't have to diversify it. You can keep it racist. It's already not real. That doesn't make you could have had you didn't have to do a black hobbit. And then having a black hobbit it doesn't make sense to have a black hobbit because we're supposed to be taller, bigger, and faster. So you just made a midget black person, is what you're telling me. I'm already hot. As a Lord of the Rings fan, I'm pissed because like we all know that the blacks were the orcs in that. Orcs were hard niggas in the first place, especially when you saw them like squaring up and fight. A couple of them was dope, but then you got the ugly ones, and we don't fuck with the ugly ones. But there was one dude he had like a claw hand, and he was riding on Wolf. It was lit. But then you give him a hobbit, bro. You couldn't give my man a better like black person than a hobbit. I'd at least seen a black dwarf would have made somewhat sense. But Hobbit, bro.
I'm not much of a Lord of the Rings fan.
That's
or
what I'm
Hobbit
saying.
Fan, so it's like I don't really know
How weak
why
a Hobbit is,
why
bro.
yeah, or just why people are so mad about this. But it's just
And he walk around barefoot.
there's black people walk barefoot. Come on, like
How racist that sound? Like I'm talking about some slave feet, bro. Have you ever seen Hobbit feet, bro? It is hella racist to have this black dude as a Hobbit. I'm sorry, it burned me seeing like, look at what you did to my man. He looking like he out here from Roots, running through the forest and shit, bro. I was so mad. Never mind.
yeah.
They really
But it's like with some of this other stuff, like especially like with the new Little Mermaid, like I don't get why people are mad about that.
That was fine with me. I didn't care.
Like
I seen the dude took AI technology though.
and yeah, it made it white.
Yo,
That's too much. Like how can you be that mad and that racist to really do that?
How does it matter racist though? He just changed. He just used AI. I mean, now he pretty much said he could do that to any movie, so you can alter any movie to your liking. So if you don't like, let me just done. That's what. And if you read the Twitter thread for that, was like he was just showing the programs that he has that can do certain things.
Do that.
So he wasn't even trying to make it racist. He just picked one that people got.
He was just like, hey yo, look, if y'all this mad, here's some technology, y'all can do this, whatever, and shut the fuck up.
Right. This is what the world has now going on. Like you can,
Like,
so it's like you don't have to.
Like
complain.
you can make him an Asian if you want to.
Right,
Like,
and you don't have to. And it's like you don't have to complain about it. You just fix it yourself and then put it on a torrent site. Done. If you don't have to. You know what I mean? It still gets done. You still get what you want. It may be illegally because it's a
yeah,
torrent
it
site,
definitely is illegal.
but you still get in the movie the way you want it. So it was like his point was like, we complain and argue about like, oh, this is racist. It should be this way. It's like, or you just make it yourself and just shut the fuck up. And it was just
That's
like,
funny. I mean,
you got a point.
I don't see it's just ridiculous. I don't see why people are so damn mad because like over a fictional character.
Again, we get
A fictional character.
Again, we get mad at that because like the character's already written. It's already done.
Yeah, but it was written during a time when
So why can't we have a
it
white?
was, no, but
white
hold
Black
on,
Panther.
hold on. It was written during a time when people didn't want to see black people on film.
No, I get that. I get that.
So now we're in a time where you want inclusion, you want
but
diversity, you want inclusion.
But
So
there's
why not have a black Ariel?
but there's a meme now saying Ryan Gosling should be the next Black Panther.
Fuck no.
Why? You gotta have both ways now.
Nah,
It's a
'cause
fictional character.
Hold up.
It's a fictional character.
But
what?
Stan Lee wrote this character
So
for
my
black
point
people.
is exactly the same thing, bro. They wrote this shit for a white mermaid. It don't even make sense for them to be black in the water. They would be white anyway because there's no reason for their skin to change color. They wouldn't get.
It's a
If
fictional
if you
you're
want to
doing-
take it scientifically, there's no light for them to reach in water for them to even get dark. So mermaids would have been white
if
originally.
you want to be that, then how about this? Because I saw this on a Facebook post and it was hilarious as hell. All the slaves that they threw over the water, you think none of them became mermaids?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't have.
You think ain't no black?
You don't
like,
just force
you think those-
evolution in 4
Like, come
hours.
on.
You don't force evolution in 4
Or
hours.
you don't think no spirit came up was a mermaid? Like, come on, stop it, bro.
No, I
Like,
think
we can take it.
I think
we
it just
can
died.
Take it there.
I just think it just
We
died.
can take it there. Like, there's a
You
reason.
talking about
Like,
actual
there's
slaves?
there's a
Yeah,
reason.
you going in
there's
the
a
water.
reason why that Bermuda Triangle's fucked up.
Mermaids.
There's a
and
particular
aliens and shit. I believe it too. What I'm saying is,
and spirits of dead slaves that want revenge.
sure, and probably some Pacific Asian people too who've crashed the Zero planes in the water from Pearl Harbor. They're all over there, and I guarantee that they're probably Amelia Earhart too, kicking it with them. However, we can't say that a fictional character that we can say is a mermaid and then be like slaves that fell into the water don't meet the mermaids. No, they're two different worlds, bro. That doesn't even make sense. One is a fictional character, like a fictional creature,
Yeah.
a mythical creature, if you want to say. Because it's like saying, like, I'm going to get a black unicorn.
Why can't we have a black unicorn?
They don't exist. They don't make no sense. They don't make
Who
no
made
sense.
who made the unicorn
You
white
gonna
though?
make the last. All right, we're gonna take the last unicorn movie.
Who made the unicorn white though?
They're always white. It's pure. That's the whole point. They're pure white and they're pure white.
Who
You
said
gotta
that
get mad at
purity
Harry
was white,
Potter.
though?
You gotta get mad at Harry Potter, and you gotta get mad at Disney for fucking up unicorns because they could have made them black stallions with horns, but they didn't. And that don't even make sense because it's just hair. Like we could argue all this all day, but it's like, yo, the fictional character part is like, yo, just leave it the way it is because people fucked with it.
I just love the fact that when it comes to the new Little Mermaid, all the reaction videos from just little black girls who are just so happy to see it, I like to see that.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
You know,
My thing is like, if at this point the issue here, I feel like where the reason why the controversy is what it is that like Disney not alone, but everyone needs to stop remaking the stuff we had when shit was bad
and just make
new content.
I do agree with that to a point because it's like, you know, okay, we want something for the newer like I understand they want something for a newer generation because then there was some stuff back then where it's like it was some racist shit back then. It was some fucked up shit that they put in these shows. Like Disney was racist as fuck back in the day.
You just
But
out
now-
here poisoning
and it's
white
just-
women with apples.
They had a drunk elephant on freaking acid. He was depressed as shit. Like,
Yeah.
we get it, but it's just like, it also just goes with just pure laziness in Hollywood. We had this conversation so many times. We could have it again so many times, but it's just pure laziness in Hollywood.
I don't think it's laziness as much as it's like
Or you don't have enough people or you're not trusting enough people to bring you original content
I
or
think
just original stories.
I think what it is, they see it as an opportunity to diversify, which is, and I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do, but it's like they're fictional characters. Like you could have, like, why didn't you just have this black girl be Ariel's sister? Would have been fine. You know what I mean? And then, like, let's not forget there was a black person in Little Mermaid, and she was the octopus. With the white hair. She had white hair, and she was...
You talking about Ursula?
Ursula was black.
I think Ursula was a drag queen.
A black drag queen? Regardless, she was still black, bro. She handled herself like a black woman. You cannot tell me she didn't.
I mean, in the play when freaking... who was it? Queen Latifah played Ursula? Yeah, it was believable.
You get me? So it's like, yo, we make it seem like they weren't represented in like these stories.
Even though the original voice of Ursula was a white woman.
So what?
You know,
no one knows some of these voices that be Michael Dorn. And he's a black dude. And you'd be like, what? I didn't even know he... Yeah, bro. You didn't know that was Mike? Black. That's Worf from Star Trek.
And people didn't know that James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah. And he was a white dude. Got his legs cut off and arms cut off. And got voiced by a black dude. And monologuing and stuff, bro. And that dude stuttered. and he got a movie.
It had a voice like a smoker. Like,
yeah, and he stutters, and he got movies. So it's like I don't understand why we can't have like. You ever see this movie called Short Circuit?
no.
All right.
Wait, was it? It does it have He's in a lot of action movies.
Nah, it's
Oh,
not
no.
an action movie.
Oh no.
It's not an action movie. It's a
I'm thinking
it's a
of something
comedy. I mean, I wouldn't say
I'm
it's not an
thinking
action movie, but there's a lot of action in it. But
Oh
it's
no, I think about a different movie then.
it's old.
Right.
It's an old like in 80s, 70s.
Mhm.
But like, there's a guy, like one of the actors in there plays an Indian dude, right? And no one knew for years, for like a solid 20 years, that he was white. He played such a good Indian guy that no one realized that it was him and until he said something and apologized for it. I was like, why are you apologizing? You played the role so well
That it was believable.
that it was a believable Indian, and we could have other Indians even believed you. Like, why are we so mad at the fact that we change or we make it? We have actors. What's the point of acting? And or even like I say, have the Little Mermaid be there. Rewrite the story to a new story. Give kids something new to look for. I'm like,
I just hope they don't go with the original folktale.
oh, they are. Oh,
Because the original folktale's fucked up. You're gonna do this to a black girl?
hopefully the dude isn't white. Picks her up. You just see like
I've
a
had this
white
conversation
dude
with myself.
picking up.
I'm like, y'all gave us the black Ariel, but who's gonna be Eric?
Have you seen the Pocahontas? Not Pocahontas. Pinocchio.
Pinocchio? No, I haven't seen Pinocchio. Is it good? I mean, I wasn't really much of a fan of the original Pinocchio.
Is it out already?
Yeah,
It's on Disney
it's
Plus. Went straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was one of those things with the whole Disney Plus day, and that's when Thor: Love and Thunder came out, and the live action Pinocchio. I wasn't much of a fan of the original Pinocchio, so
Like,
I don't know. I don't think I would even get into that movie.
like, I'm not saying there's no such thing as like his.
A puppet.
No, not puppets. It's the fairy.
Oh, the fairy that turns him into a real boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is black.
He's black, right? And
What?
so, right. I'm already going off right there, right? So he's black.
Well,
So
okay,
I don't
well,
have a problem.
they should have. They can have male fairies. Look at Fairy Odd Parents. Cosmo was a whole fairy. Like, come on now.
Yep, rightly so. But the way Cosmo acted was like a normal dude because he was a guy or whatever. If he wanted to be flamboyant, it's fine. But now you're portraying gayness to kids. You know what I mean? Like, you're pushing on the sexuality of other people onto kids. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, but at the same time, though, Pinocchio, like, that's so far of a child movie to be too woke at this time for me in my place. Like, I wouldn't, like, me personally, I wouldn't let my kids watch Pinocchio the live action until they're a little bit older so they can understand why that dude talks like a woman and is very flamboyant. Because I don't want to have that conversation at like I was that child asking dumbass questions at inappropriate times when I seen like drag people on a bus and I'd be
I'm not gonna
looking up at
this.
Dad, shut the fuck up. Okay.
Now,
All right.
this actually reminds me of this one time when I was I think I was like 10 years old. This is when Bad Boys 2 just first came out, and then like it was that one scene where like they were in like the video shop, and then porno comes up. Like, I was straight silent throughout the whole time I was watching my mom. Straight silent. Like, she just like, okay, he's not saying nothing. But then when the little kid was like, when Marcus was like, I can't even get an erection. And the little kid was like, what's an erection? I literally turned to my mom and was like, what is an erection?
Shut the hell. You don't even know that.
I mean, my mom explained to me what an erection was, but it was just like,
How old was you?
I think I was still in elementary school. I was like in 3rd grade when the movie came out.
See what I'm saying?
So either way, I was gonna learn about that shit like later down the line. Either way,
right.
like they do teach you like sex ed in like 5th grade. So
How many beads of sweat over your mom's brow, like forehead, that she don't ask no question. Don't ask no damn question.
I was a very quiet kid, so I didn't ask a lot of questions
See?
until I got older.
I wasn't. And my ass be asking questions at inappropriate times, bro. On the bus. Public bus. Not like who the Hey, shut the
don't-
fuck up. That's
Don't-
all I
like,
heard.
Not now.
That's all.
Not now.
He didn't even say no. He just screamed because he wasn't sitting next to me. He was like 2 seats over because there wasn't enough seats, and I sat off to the side. He just screamed on the bus. Shut the fuck up.
Y'all in New York, so y'all could do that type of shit.
What? No, it was just, yeah, it was New York, New Jersey, yeah, we could. But at the same time, everybody on the bus laughed because they knew what the fuck was up. My dumb ass saying, see, because you know what I'm saying? You're a child.
You're not knowing that everybody's like, yeah, he ain't trying to have that conversation with his kid.
He's weird.
Especially not even on a public bus. Like, you could wait till you got home and be like, hey, what was all that on the like?
I don't know no better. I don't know. It's a new thing for me. I ain't never seen a mother.
I mean, I think
You
honestly,
sir?
these days,
And
like everything is so liberal and so out in the open, and everybody's just so proud to be themselves, and they're just being themselves in public. Sometimes you gotta have those conversations with them that early because they're gonna be exposed to it somehow.
Yeah,
Like somehow, some way, they're gonna be exposed to, like, you know,
yeah, but
two men walking around holding hands,
Yeah,
or
that turn-
two women kissing, or even a drag queen.
right.
So-
But those moments you don't have control over. But I'm saying, like, watching it on a TV when it's like, you know what I'm saying, where you can just be like, we'll just turn that off. You know what I'm saying? I have more control over that. You're right on what you're saying. You're going to have to expose them eventually, but let life,
because either way, the world's gonna expose
Yeah.
it to him either way.
and let the world do it themselves. You know, let it happen naturally, organically, because, like, I feel like you want to expose. I feel like you want to expose a child, at least from my perspective. You want to expose it to them to the real world, like seeing it themselves, to then ask the question.
Mhm.
But you don't want it to be like and then also you're prepared because like they're seeing it for the first time too. The parent is seeing a thing coming for the first time that you're seeing. You know what I mean? Whatever you're looking at, they're gonna be looking at. So it's like, oh, two guys holding hands. They love each other. They know because like you see it, you can explain it. But like when it's like you're not gonna expect like we're gonna watch the Pinocchio, you're gonna get fairies and like a little puppet and stuff. You're not already mentally preparing yourself to not see such a thing, and then have to explain it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I mean I get putting it into the movie, but it's like when they put it in, they did another movie where I want to say it was like Free Guys or something, but it was like similar to like Free Guys or something. But it like the one of the characters was really flamboyant gay, and it worked that. You know what I mean? Because it was like for older, it was like superheroes, like teens.
Yeah, it
was an older crowd.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you do High School Musicals and stuff, and the kids are acting like that. That makes sense. I'm not
It's
even
high school.
That's high school. They're finding themselves. There's individuality. You can have the teacher have to be the same way. I'm all for that. But like, we're talking like a movie designated for like kids like around your like third grade and under, and like sometimes way younger because you just put it on just to something for them to
Just
watch.
for something to yeah.
Like, come on. They're not going to even get the message of what Pinocchio is. That's what's even worse. They missed the whole message of the damn movie because they're going to ask questions
I
about
never
some
even know,
shit.
what was
Don't
the
fucking
point?
lie. The whole message of the movie was just don't fucking lie. And like, that was it. And then like, you're going to, I don't know. It was just like, they could have done, I'm not saying they could have done it, but he could have been a different character. He didn't have to be the fairy. He could have been like somebody that's a friend of his. He could have been the father. He could have been just about.
That could have been interesting.
I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? I wouldn't
Or
have
the carpenter.
the carpenter, yeah.
That could have been
Geppetto,
interesting.
like Geppetto, he could have been that, and I wouldn't have even flipped. Like I'm not saying he should not have been the movie.
Would you have flipped because Geppetto is Italian?
It wouldn't have mattered. I don't care. They're Black Italians. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
that kind of thing wouldn't have bothered me, and I would be like, okay, this is very artistic. Like I would still watch the movie, and like it just wouldn't be that thing. But like now you have like when you say fairies, like what image comes in your head? And I say fairies, I'm thinking already Tinkerbell.
I'm thinking like Fairy Godparents. You know, Whitney Houston's version of the fairy godmother.
The Shrek fairy godmother. You know what I mean? Like we go through the fairies. Like even if you want to do like animes, there's like 5-6 fairy animes that I know that like they're all females, and like there was one that was a male, but he was for offense only. So it was like, and like he had like a cool suit, and he would just fuck your shit up.
And you got like Jorgen, who's just like the overly masculine ass fairy.
You know,
doesn't even have wings. He has a freaking jetpack.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it just doesn't make sense to be like as like a character. And this is from a movie critic perspective. It's like you could have placed him in like a more prominent role. And if he picked the role, then fine. I guess I can't get mad at that. But if you cast him for that, or you were like, "Oh, we're gonna get him for this, for the diversity." It's like, why couldn't you just? Because there was, like, you think about it, no one knows if Geppetto had a wife or husband anyway. He just lived alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it would have still made sense, and like you could have still felt for this person, this character, and understand everything. I don't know. They just made me lose the interest of the movie. Like the Disney in the whole, it makes me lose interest now. Shit's expensive. I'm thinking about canceling. We were talking about it earlier before you came in.
What?
It costs $8,000 for a family of 4 to go to Disney World.
I ain't been to Disney in so long, and it's like, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I think it's also just like supply. I think it has to do with supply and demand because like, you know how crowded it be in Disney. Even during the pandemic, it was crowded as hell in Disney.
And the shit sucks.
And it be for Florida residents too.
And be shit, yo.
Like
all of them Florida residents, bro. I swear to God, they all be Florida residents.
yeah, because
bro.
if you ain't a Florida resident, you paying out of pocket.
That's
you paying.
They had to.
Like, you paying, bro. I think it also has to be because of this whole thing with like the whole thing with the Ron DeSantis thing, and they're like, now they're not going to be their own government, so it's like, now they gotta tax more because now they gotta pay taxes.
But then clean up, like the shit look grimy. You ever seen Space? You haven't been in a while. Space Mountain looks dirty. Like, I'm saying,
They probably ain't changed the water.
no, they don't clean the outside of the bitch. I'm saying the outside of the bitch got rust. It looked like it's like creaking. Like people complain about the rides breaking down.
I think now
Ariel mouth don't even work in the Little Mermaid ride. She just dance like this.
I think with Disney now they're trying to bring in new stuff. So like the old school stuff, I don't know. I think this is the whole thing of like, do we fix up our old school stuff, or do we just bring on more like because now Disney got the whole. I think they got the Marvel Land. They got Toy Story Land. So it's like, do we just focus more on just bringing new attractions to? Because the older generation, they know this part.
But
let's leave that in history. Let's just let's focus more on this. Let's add new technology instead of just trying to fix out something that we did 30, 40 some years ago.
Then get it out. But at the same time though, like even the new shit don't even work. Because like when I went, like the new one of the new rides was broken down, and then people were talking about it on the Twitter feed that like the new Star Wars ride, like nigga waited like 2 hours. Then they told him to get off and walk through one of the exit areas because the ride broke down. And it's like, bruh, you know, tight at 2 hours, bro. And then like I was saying to her, I was like, yo, they charge you for everything. Like I remember you used to be able to just ask for like a wheelchair. Now you gotta pay $6 or $7 for a wheelchair. I was like, bro, that's tax, son. $6-7 on top of the $400. You can't give me a chair with wheels. I dropped $458 for my ticket, and I don't think that's I think it's regular general admission. That's just one day. It's like $400, bro.
So it's not even the 3-day pack. Like, nah, but sometimes Disneyland be having like them deals.
The
like,
3-day, yeah, the deals.
Like when they especially during the pandemic, they had the ones I think it was like 5 days, and it was for the low.
Yeah.
You just gotta catch it when it's like they have those surprise deals.
But all right, so it's 5 days, right? Once you go the first day, you gotta stay going. I was like, what? I was like, but I don't want to go the next 3 days. I got work and shit. Like, yo, once you get 5, you start going on the first day, because you don't live here. You have to stay and go the next 5 days. That's so trash, bro.
I think it's also made for like Orlando residents as well.
Well, no.
Sometimes they don't really think of like people who are out of town, come out of town, or something like that.
No, I think they do. I think they just milk them for the money. Like I feel like there's no sense of urgency. Like, yeah, we get the
I think
crowd.
it's just because they know that they're gonna get the crowd either way.
And plus, people who are flying in got money anyway. They're European or they're from another country. Disney World ain't everywhere, so it's like you gotta come here for this anyway.
It's Florida, it's California. They got one in Tokyo. They got one in France. I think they got 5 different Disney Worlds. They got one in China.
I think it was one in Germany.
No, they got one in Hong Kong or something.
No.
Yeah, you said that. You said that like
Yeah, that would never have happened. There's no way that would have happened.
I do know that there's like 5 different.
I think
there's 5 different ones.
I think there's one in Germany. Or it's like one in Europe. Or
I don't know.
area.
I'll be cautious to go to the one in Germany.
That shit probably busting. That shit probably legit busting because they clean. This shit works. Germans make sure. Imagine having German engineering rides. Your shit would never break down. You would have the best math. Like Germans are really particular on stuff. At least when it comes to car. Like if you get the car people, and you put them in like
I had
theme
a fucked
parks.
up joke about that, but I'm not going to.
Plus, they couldn't do no fucked up shit anyway. They still got a history.
That's what I was saying. Like
They do it. Oh, that would be lit. Put it.
no,
Auschwitz land.
no, stop it.
Auschwitz land, son.
Stop it, bro. No.
Just.
Oh my god. But yo, let's get back to talking about Tekken. We done went into a whole tangent, but good conversation though. But the new Tekken series,
Yeah.
Netflix did their thing. Netflix made the right decision taking on Tekken.
I think. I think they did. I think they have the people who made the series. They own that. They own that animation things because they did Cyberpunk now.
Oh, so the same animation style they did for Tekken is the same one.
Not the same style, but
Oh.
the same the same.
Oh, it's the same company.
I think it's the same company they're doing pumping these out that are so fire because it's almost not saying the same, but like it's
It's the people who
good.
made the Cyberpunk game or the Cyberpunk series.
The same people that made the Cyberpunk series.
Oh,
The
okay.
game they just made it off the game,
Oh, okay.
but the same company that made Tekken, I think it's the same company making these series games.
Mm-hmm.
Not series games, series TV series of the games.
Mm-hmm.
But the Tekken series is like so far like the best fighting, better than Baki.
I mean, just because I'm a Tekken fan, I'll give you that.
Better than
I'm not gonna lie. Like, it
Right.
did hit me in the nostalgia watching it, and like I'm just like, I'm glad they went. I'm glad they bet like what we were talking about yesterday. I'm glad they better explained Jin's storyline in this one. The one thing I would say that if I can nitpick this series, the one thing I would say is I feel like they made some of the characters too big. They
which character?
like I do know King's supposed to be like this like 300 some kilogram, you know, like person like just 200-pound whatever, and same thing with Hachi and like Hachi, like he's supposed to be big as hell, but like going back to like
Oh yeah.
he's the guy with the hair.
The hair, old ass.
He's supposed to be big as hell too, but going back to like it kind of reminds me of like Tekken 3 and everything like that. Like they weren't. I don't know if it's just like back then they couldn't really do much because of the graphic style, but they weren't that big in the original game. They looked like just the slender, just karate masters, martial arts masters.
I mean,
And you know, it's like even with the games too. Like I think it was like either before Tekken 7 or Tekken 7 exactly. Like they did the same style as like they did with Mortal Kombat 9, where everyone's super fucking buff for no reason.
Yeah.
And just like, you know,
Tekken Tag.
you
did
could
the
at
same
least
thing.
you could at least make them look realistically, you know, like make them, you know, bulky and stuff or whatever. But I doubt there's really a person who's as big as he was, like upper body big as hell, feet big as hell, looking like
Yachi?
his feet big as hell, bigger than his ankles, looking like goddamn one of the kids from Coordinate Kids Next Door. Like,
Oh.
come on now.
I don't know. Them sumo niggas was pretty thick, bro.
But like just the body proportion is just like that kind of distracted me a little bit.
Well, I guess also they kept it true to the, like you said, they kept it true to the game.
Well, certain games, because some of the games they did look more real. Their bodies were more realistic.
Right, and I think it just came to like Nameko's developing team at that time. Because I remember like Tekken 3, when they even made fists, they just put their hands like this and they just drew lines. You couldn't even see the definition of hands or anything. And
I
then
mean, it was the graphics back then.
and when it was like when King grappled you, he did these. You know what I'm saying? He didn't separate his fingers until like later in the thing. So like as the graphics progressed, I feel like they were like, yeah, we should probably set the characters different. Cause like Like I wish
Or let's
they'd
at
shown
least
him.
bring more definition to their bodies.
I wish they'd shown him, but then it would because then I could see your point. But if they had shown Yoshimitsu, they referenced him.
Yeah, that's also the one thing that kind of just was like really, because like that whole like thing where it's like, oh, the 3 matches that we didn't get to see, like one of them was martial law. Martial law is one of my favorite characters in the Tekken series. Y'all could at least did like, instead of just saying, oh yeah, he lost. Y'all could have at least did like a little montage of them fighting. At least see martial law in action. See Yuishima in action. You know.
That's gonna
something
be
like that.
That's gotta be expensive. Cause like when I think
I'm
about
not saying like a whole fight scene, like all the other ones. I'm just saying like a little montage, like say, let you know martial law do a little backflip then lose.
How long for the montage?
Like probably the same amount of time they did for that one. Like probably like 1 minute. A 1 minute montage is like
that's expensive.
You see martial law do a backflip, get punched in the face, something. See Yuishima take out a sword or something like that.
Like if you'd have seen how Orlando was drawing, and back in San Diego, you talking a lot like a 1 minute montage in animation, bro. That's like you talking and then you talking martial law
with the type of technology we got. I know you still gotta draw. You still gotta have the draw and everything. But with the technology we got,
you still need, because he was, even with his technology, he does solar opposites and Bob's Burgers.
He was doing more of a simple animation, but even a simple animation took a little minute.
Took a little minute. So you, even just because you got like the technology is there, you still need to
pay for their time.
Still gotta pay for the time for them to, even on the new tech, they still gotta hand draw out the smudges or fix the corrections.
And they ain't giving it out for cheap.
And that's per frame. So like, you do a montage for a minute long. However they draw the action, they have to do every frame. They have to make that picture. So it's like you can like if you were like, you ever seen the cartoon Gigantor? It's old. But like if you've seen it, Gigantor did that. They would double up on just show the same scene, and it'll just planes flying by, but it'll be the same planes flying by, and that's how they showed progression. You can't do the same now, so like they couldn't double up using old scenes. They'd have to make a new scene for every time.
Like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Well, every single time they throw out Jazz, like Jazz had to wear that same outfit. Like if you seen Jazz in that one outfit, you know he's saying some wild shit's gonna get his ass thrown out. Because they did that one scene one time,
and they just kept repeating it. Because it's like, how many times you gotta throw me? We gotta throw you again, bruh. Bruh.
That's what I want to change my contract.
Yeah. I want more money.
What's the name did it? Todd dude that played Candyman? For every bee sting that he got in his mouth when he did that character.
Wait, he had to actually get.
That was real?
He didn't have to.
He didn't have to, but he kept
it.
it.
He did it, and he said for each sting I get, it's $1,000. He got 23 stings.
23,000 on top of money.
Just that, and no tax, no. Just look up.
So,
but I'm saying like that's a lot of work for like those scenes. So like,
yeah, but it's like if you're gonna like, I'm saying like if you're gonna do this series, you gotta like it's a franchise game. It's a franchise like Tekken's a whole franchise.
He won, right?
No, martial law lost.
Oh,
let me ask this.
So for me, it's like I want to at least see how he lost.
Let me ask this, Eugene. Law is your favorite character?
He's one of my favorite characters.
One of your favorite characters?
Yeah.
And then, like, why is it so like important for him to be? In
I'm just saying, just me personally,
right?
Just me personally.
I agree with him
because the fact that I play with martial law and like some of these other characters so much in the game. In the series, I at least want to see him fight at least once.
Are the characters that's newly represented in here, are they justified to take place of Law's missing?
Well, I mean,
yes and no. Yes and no.
Well, did they give y'all enough good new characters?
They got the main characters.
Yeah,
they got Jin. I mean, of course you're gonna have Jin because a lot of Tekken storyline revolves around Jin.
Right.
Yeah. Nina,
you got Nina Williams. You got Ling Xiaoyu. You got Warang. You got Warang.
Yeah.
You got Paul. Which like Paul got his fighting style from martial law.
Right.
So my whole thing is just that if you're gonna show this much of Paul, and he got his fighting style from martial law, why not show martial law a little bit more? That's just me talking as a fan.
Now, is
like me talking as a fan. That's just me.
But but like even still, well, like like seeing the animation, like, and knowing how animation now works, it
Mhm.
made sense why they went with the certain characters. Because like Marshall, like Paul's moves were like, even though they're even though he
It's
won,
more solid.
it's more solid.
It
and
reminds you of
rigid.
more of like Jin
You know what I
style.
mean? Yeah.
You know,
So it's just straight. You know what I mean? Like you could just
Now,
hold
what
it
if
there.
like he still
have-
does karate, but it's more of like just standard karate. Like
What
Law
if they
be-
have-
Law is based off of Bruce Lee.
So you
What
would
if
have
what if they
crazy
have
moves.
Law as like what's the name's character in Mortal Kombat as like the lead, like Raiden, like he wasn't necessarily. I remember it was maybe one or two titles where he wasn't necessarily playable. He was there.
You had to unlock him.
Yeah.
That's
you
what I'm
had
saying.
to-
Like he was an unlockable character for like first.
but he was in the storyline.
Yeah.
He was the
I
narrator
think
for the
second Tekken he was
storyline.
unlockable.
So maybe Law might be in the storyline.
That's what I think too. Because like you like he probably is getting his. It's just there's going to be in the second season. Because like now that the tournament's, they're going to start another tournament. So like,
Or they might have him as a downloadable content.
but like no,
Maybe-
I mean, we're not
maybe
talking about
that
we're not
lit.
talking about the
No,
game. We're
game,
talking
yeah.
about the series.
the series.
Yeah, we're talking
my
about the
bad.
series.
He wasn't in the series, but like he didn't
Like-
fight in the series.
Yeah, like they showed his face and everything, but they didn't show him fighting.
They showed the main characters, some of the main characters
Yeah.
of Tekken. So like Yoshimitsu
And
wasn't in it.
They showed King a lot. They showed Ogre, and Ogre's like
Ogre's
Oh,
your final.
yeah, he's the final person. And he becomes unlockable, but I guess because of like when it comes to the storyline, Ogre and Jin, it's like so much. They bring so much to the storyline where it's like you have to have those
Yeah.
two.
You can't. Yeah. Well, that's the whole reason why the Power Tournament,
The
the
King
fist,
Iron Fist tournament
yeah,
was
was created.
literally just to bring out Ogre, you know, because
They ripped it
Cause-
off Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
Yeah, they ripped it off Mortal Kombat.
not really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of the Mortal Kombat series. I think like Mortal Kombat 8 or
one
9.
one of the original like Mortal Kombat storylines was just they're having this tournament just because the guy who like sucked people's souls out wanted the best fighter.
And then the best fighter was Ogre, and then like that's how Ogre ended up getting introduced into the Mortal Kombat
No.
franchise. You don't remember? Like he was taking souls, and like he had his own. He then took over the underworld. Ogre then took over the underworld because homie got his ass beat, and like Ogre whooped his ass. But he didn't take a soul or anything. It ended up just being like Ogre with. Then we had to end up fighting Ogre to get whatever abilities and power back. So they just ripped off the story. Well, the gameplay storyline, but now we saw like the anime version towards Tekken towards it. I mean,
To be honest with you, Gabe, there's only like maybe 100 stories. I'm exaggerating. There may be a little bit more than that, but there's only like
Especially when it comes to like fighting tournaments.
there's only
Yeah.
so many variations of storyline
Because
that you can
because
go
the
with.
because
Right,
honestly,
right, right.
an episode of Teen Titans did the same thing.
Yep.
Right.
When they were just bringing out people to have a fighting tournament, it was just so the guy could take their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was the same thing with
Which is-
the first Dragon Ball.
Which isn't my issue. It's not at all. I'm just saying, like, I feel like they're gonna give more in this series than they would in Mortal Kombat. Because Mortal Kombat just branched off other stuff. They just went in other directions. They ended up going back in time. People started getting possessed. They just went other tangents. But at least
they're
in,
running out of running
at
out.
least in Tekken they kept
I
it.
think
the
I
same.
think now with Mortal Kombat, they just need to like have like if you're gonna introduce some different characters, like you know, they had characters who had kids, so
Mhm.
like create a storyline for them,
Right.
you know, or something like that. You know, you
And
don't have to keep on bringing it back to the past
Yeah.
because we already played that storyline.
Right.
Or let's start like I understand we in the reboot phase. Let's reboot. Let's go back to there was this underground tournament. It felt majestic back in the day.
Or just
Now
change-
it just feels like it's another tournament.
Right. Right. Oh,
Like,
Like-
it felt like it was like, hey, you had to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to get a name in a slot just to face somebody.
I will say this one thing about the Tekken series. I do like how they kind of made it a little bit more modern. They kind
Yeah.
of did bring like, because you had people watching the tournament on a tablet. They got drones everywhere.
they brought it.
They
to
had
the
like
century.
people in bars watching this thing. Like so, I like they brought it to the 21st century. I will say that I do like the fact that they brought it out to the 21st century in a way.
It reminded me of what's the one? 10 Rings.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Shang Shin in the 10 Rings. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was a scene in the 10 Rings that they did that.
Oh,
When
with
you
the
were
fighting
in
tournament.
the fighting tournament, like they had like Wong and Abominable had the fight, and everyone was watching it, placing bets online, watching it off their phone. So like seeing it in this, it was like it's cool. Like you said, it's cool how they adapt New World society.
Gives you that new
Yeah.
MMA
Yeah.
boxing
Because
style.
I thought they were just gonna fill the stands up, and when you watch the series, they don't
The
fill
shit,
any
the shit is
stands
empty.
Up. The shit
It's,
empty.
it's
But-
literally just the fighters, and everybody else is watching it somewhere else.
But he got jumbotrons. He got fireworks. Like this shit lit. Like he got everybody. It looked like he had concessions.
Yeah, they
Like,
stole.
like, but there was just no one in the
he
stand.
had a whole projector and everything.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Yeah, they stole that from when we was in the pandemic.
Yeah,
You can
they
tell
did
why the
WWE.
story is that way.
He
because
did
of
the
pandemic.
WWE. Like
Yeah, everybody was doing that.
Yeah.
UFC, everybody was doing events with nobody in it because they
They
couldn't.
they even had like seats with just monitors of like other people's faces.
That
just
was
to make it seem-
weird.
That sucked.
It did look kind of wild because like
I was like,
it-
so y'all
it-
gonna fake pump
like
in audience crowd
like
reaction?
it just looks like one of them old school like Madden games where it's just like you just got just a crowd just of fake people. It's not like nowadays where you can actually have individual people. One person's drinking, one
Yeah,
person's
yeah,
doing
but-
this. You just got literally just people
You
just
ever-
like this.
You ever play Fight Night round 3 when you see them in the crowd? Yeah. And there's just 3 rows of people just like this.
Or not when they do the wave and it's literally just it looks so stupid.
Bro.
They ain't got the animation to do this piece.
Yeah, they just got. Oh man, but
That was funny.
I don't know.
but like, how would as far as like the series goes, how would you rate it?
I give it an 8. I give it an 8 because it's missing my favorite. Like I said, it's missing my favorite characters. I wanted Yoshimitsu. I wanted Bruce Lee, not Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. If they'd had
You mean
Jackie
martial
Maybe
law?
they left
Martial
those
law?
characters
not martial
off on
law.
purpose.
It's Lee. Is Lee. You remember Lee in
Yeah, I
Tekken?
remember Lee, but maybe they left those
That's
characters
what I'm
off on
saying.
purpose.
I'm also was like,
And maybe they're gonna bring him back in the second season or something like that. But
that's 8.5, 8. I was saying it's a strong
it's a strong series. Like
It's
it
good.
definitely has to have a second season.
yeah, and they gotta
Right.
have those your character like martial law,
Mm-hmm.
Yoshimitsu,
Dude, they even,
Anna. I fuck with Nina's sister.
they need to bring Brian.
Yeah,
Like,
I would be mad to see Jack. Remember Jack?
Oh yeah, Jack,
Yo,
the freaking robot. Like,
and then throw a panda or the kangaroo or something, or the
Pan-
raptor.
oh, you mean You talking about Panda? Because they had Grizzly. They had Grizzly in there.
Both of them. Well, I picked panda, but like I don't know if anyone did this, but like you
It
can
was
just
like two
swap
different
characters.
ones. You could
of the
swap between
same-
Panda or Grizzly. You
Yeah.
could swap between those two.
And then the kangaroo had the same one too. It was a raptor or a kangaroo, so you can swap between like a velociraptor with gloves, and he
Now,
just be boxing
wait a
your
minute.
ass.
Y'all said a couple of episodes back.
What happened?
Y'all, look, we was arguing about DC, how they should slow it down. Now y'all arguing these characters should have been on there. They might be taking the slow route.
No, yeah,
but it's like
They
my whole-
might do like all right,
no, but like
we
no,
got
but for
too
real
many
though.
characters
No,
here.
but for
Hold
real
on.
though, like
One-
when you're for this series, they gave us 6 episodes.
okay.
That was my one thing. Like you
But
could
how
have
many
gave me
stories were
you
they
could-
following?
no,
there-
one story.
No, it's
Bet.
one main story.
Yeah, no, it was
That's
good.
gonna give y'all more
it's
to
one
eat on.
it's one main story, but it's
Right.
just like, if I think like the 6 episodes, it gave it perfectly to explain Jin's story, but
Right.
like you could have easily like had an episode that like you could have went anime style, had an episode that was just about the
Filler.
other fighters.
Like the
you could have had a
filler
filler.
episode. Yeah, yeah, he's right.
You know,
They might be changing the route. Look, we got
What's
new
your-
directors. A lot of the pandemic killed off the rest of them. We got
This is
new ones
true.
coming in. So what we're traditionally used to, everything is getting fucked up now.
But like,
UFC has changed. WWE has changed. Now that Vince McMahon is not in the organization no more. Netflix. This is Netflix Tekken, not Tekken. So
Yeah.
they might be moving away from where y'all thinking y'all need to go
Well-
and just slow burn because we want those characters. If they would have did what they're doing right now with DC, we would love them right now. But they trying to cram everything all in one. Don't do that.
But
Give me a
it's-
slow burn.
but I would say this. I would think. Oh, go ahead.
I think the other like I think he's right because like the characters that we want to see besides Law, who was there, like the other characters we want to see, you couldn't really write them into the story because they were so far into the game story.
Oh yeah, and they were just so far off from Jin's story. They didn't really matter to
No,
Jin's story.
they mattered. It was just like
Because like Wadon and Jin are homies. Like Ling Xiao and Jin are homies.
Right.
So even in the game,
that's
they're
why those
homies.
three were
So,
there. And then
yeah.
you had King, but I'm saying like Yoshimitsu wouldn't have had any interaction with any of those until Jin took over the company.
the tournament.
The tournament, yeah,
Mhm.
and Hitachi's. You know what I'm saying? Like Jack
Yeah.
Bryan as well. So a lot of these characters that we were looking for wouldn't happen until like season 2 or 3 anyway.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mhm.
So like I kind of get where he's coming from too. Is like it is not saying slow burn, but it's like if you're going the route of the game, we're still in like
You're only gonna
stage
cater to
one.
the audience of the
You know,
game people, but if we go slowly, now we can bring
Pull in,
You
yeah.
could pick up not just the original fans, but new
New
people
fan,
too.
yeah, and then think about it too. You drag it along because when does Tekken drop?
Because I was gonna say, because this is probably like the best kind of marketing you can do. You
Right.
have a whole series on Netflix. Everyone's raving about it, but then for PlayStation State of Play, you drop a teaser for Tekken 8.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Perfect. And then you give us all the shit that we wanted. Yoshimitsu, Law, Brian. We get Armor King.
I wouldn't be surprised if they drop a second season right before they drop the game.
Or same time.
'Cause I think the game's coming out next year, or either next year or 2024.
If it's probably no. I think it's this 2023.
2023.
I think so.
It might.
I think so. But even still, like if you like, that's more than enough time to bang out another 6 episodes perfectly. Get them voiced up and everything. It's going to
Bring the characters that people were missing in the first season. You know,
If you know you got a cachet of like what season they on Tekken right now?
One,
This
bro?
one, this
no,
first season.
video game.
Oh,
eight.
8.
It's
Okay.
8.
So
Well,
you got-
technically, I mean, as far as the series, 8. But there's been like other Tekkens.
Tekken
But what I'm
Tag,
saying is,
Yeah.
Tekken Tag Tournament.
they got if you had the network, you own Netflix, Eugene.
You
You
got a
own the
plethora
network.
of
You got
characters.
Tekken. You got a cachet of stories. Would you want to take all of those and sum up and just give them a half story, or you really want to actually immerse people into this Tekken world? Because I'm gonna be very honest with you. Other than outside your video game, I don't know too much about Tekken. I'm hearing this firsthand accounts from you guys because my era was Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. When Tekken got in, it was a little too new.
That's
was
PlayStation.
more-
I'm not sure about that because
PlayStation.
I've watched
versus
like
Killer Instinct, all the other games before
Dead or
Tekken.
Alive.
No, because I mean,
Dead or Alive.
dude, I played Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis, so like I understand that like it was probably like much older, but like your generation is different. But I'm saying when Tekken came out, like it was a whole different beast from
That's-
the other two.
that's
that
what-
he was
that's
You
what-
saying.
had so many other games in competition with it
Yeah.
that it's like it got a fan base, but it had to take away from what was already Mortal Kombat, what was already Street Fighter, what was the other game that's almost
Well, no,
like-
it took from Dead or Alive because Dead or
Dead or
Alive,
Alive, yeah, it
Dead or
was a Dead or
Alive,
Alive game.
Dead or Alive, and that games are the only ones that I remember that went 3D when the fighting because you can then sidestep around. them.
Yeah.
right, and that
then
was
it
you
did the
couldn't-
whole
you couldn't
evasive
take to
thing.
that right away.
Yeah.
It did the
was
whole
like,
evasive
what?
thing and everything like that. So yeah,
So you can like sidestep away from people and then do a different move or grapple. That wasn't a thing until like in Mortal Kombat.
until like later on when they actually did grappling. So,
Yeah, and even when because PlayStation dropped Tekken 3 at the same time they dropped Mortal Kombat 4, and I had both discs, and like even when you played both of them, it was like, bro, this is like playing Sega Genesis
Is it just
on PlayStation.
yeah?
And I was like, the graphics was lit. Don't get me wrong, the finishers and shit was cool, but like it's just 2 characters bouncing right here.
Yeah.
You throw in Tekken, I'm now able to like see the character move side to side,
It's
left,
literally
right.
everything's like it's more 3D. It's like you can like sidestep. You can see more of like the
the
of, like, the
moves.
playing field. The playing field. The moves are more technical because even when you was talking about, you said like yesterday, like if someone's go-to character is King, and they can like beat your ass with King, like you gotta respect it because like yo, they're so like King. Like I like King as a character because of the look and the fact that he's a wrestler. I like the look of him. Like the Jaguar head was like always like lit, but his moves, it's like, yo, I gotta press this down. I gotta just only tap this, and I'm like, yo, like
Fuck up one time,
Yeah.
tipping your ass up in
Oh my
mid grapple.
God.
Mid grapple.
Like you're just lucky that he's strong as hell that you can easily like punch and kick your way out of stuff if you're not the technical kind of player.
Nah, or you did that dumbass leg sweep shit. Pissed me off. But like they would also be like the characters of like Modok or whatever.
Oh, and not even that. We didn't even like. I think probably because people just hate the fact that people pick this character, but Eddie. They didn't even mention Eddie.
Yeah, the other black dude there though.
Yeah, I know. Like they had Leroy, but
Yeah.
he's not. But as far as fighting style, they didn't have like Eddie's like the Brazilian style like fighting. So it's like they didn't even mention Eddie.
I'm saying I feel like they took out a lot of the characters that require wild movements so they can take their time and do them later. Because
I really do wonder how they're gonna add Eddie to this to the next
Leroy's
season.
son.
That would be funny if it was Leroy.
Bro, this is gonna be Leroy's son. Why?
Wasn't he Leroy's son in
I think so.
in the original in the game?
I think so. Yeah. So it's like I'm pretty sure he's gonna be
Because
Leroy's son.
I know it's something like with Eddie, like because like
Like
later
Eddie lost.
later down the like series of the game, he does start dressing like flashy like Leroy did, like
If I'm not
and
mistaken.
stuff like that, and he takes over a company. So I'm pretty sure Leroy and Eddie has some kind of like.
I think they are related.
And I think at the end of I think the endings like cutscene for Tekken 3, Eddie goes and shakes the hand of someone who has like gray like locks. So
Yeah, I'm saying I think there are parents, but I think like in the anime, I think that's why Leroy. That's why I'm pissed because I don't feel like we're gonna see Eddie.
we're gonna see more. We're not gonna see more Leroy's story in a way.
No, we're gonna see more Leroy's story, but I feel like we're gonna see Eddie's story as flashbacks because I feel like what they're gonna do is because like why is Leroy there so hell bent on beating Hitachi? Is probably because Eddie was in the fight and died by Hitachi or
not even that,
or
but
Kazuma.
he's like yo, you killed my family. Like, he probably killed his wife, and then he's probably had to be like a single father or something like that.
He said he took he said he took everything, so I assumed kid too. Like the way Leroy was feeling, he like Leroy had because the dialogue between the two.
Dude, it's funny.
They made
as
it
hell
seem
that
like
the
he
dog,
lost
the
everything.
The dog seemed more angry than Leroy was.
Yeah, bro. All right, we wrap this one up, though.
All right, man. Show lit for sure. And yo, this ain't an ad, but y'all need to check out that Tekken series if you haven't. Even people who aren't Tekken fans was like, yo, this anime is lit.
It's pretty fire.
Yeah. So the show, this is another episode of TV Nerdz. It's your host, the Esoteric Child, here with Gabe Stomach. Follow us on our link tree. We're gonna have more episodes out. Probably more collab. We should do a collab episode with like some of the other people who's on here with us. It would be funny as hell to have like a Nerdz talk with Pickle Sausage Chronicles. That would definitely be some fuckery.
Ain't nothing nerdy gonna be in that.
It's all type of fuckery, boy. All type of fuckeries.
And Lily's
Ain't
gonna,
no
say,
good.
Lily's gonna say some wild shit. It's just gonna be like, all right, cut this episode.
Ain't no good. We can't put this for kids. Ain't no good.
All right, man. Y'all know the lingo. Stay nerdy, y'all.